Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Rokket deck profile. So I'm really excited for this one because it is probably one of my favorite decks that came out of the entire Link of Reigns era. I really love the concept of the Rockets. They're a lot of fun, and they made some of the best boss monsters ever to be in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Borreload Dragon and Boral Sword Dragon, which is really cool. I really love this deck, and I'm really excited to show you guys how I'm playing in this format. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on this. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell next so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on it. But before we do, I really quickly want to mention you guys that we do have a Ko-Fi and a Patreon down in the description. If you guys would like to check that out, definitely do so. All donations do help out the channel. So let's get into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Rokket Tracer Dragon. Rokket Tracer Dragon is the tuner of the deck. We do play a second tuner in the form of Rokket Synchron, but Rokket Tracer Dragon is a really neat card that, quick effect, you can target a face-up card you control and destroy it, and if you do, you get special summon another Rokket monster from your deck, except a copy of Rokket Tracer. And then it also has the ability that you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except for dark monsters, which is not that big of a deal because the majority of the stuff that we play in here is dark anyways. So we have a lot of options to play around with our Rokket Tracer Dragon. Then we play 3 copies of Magna Rokket Dragon. Magna Rokket Dragon is the best level 4 monster in the deck besides your Rokket Tracer Dragon, because all the Rokket monsters share this particular ability besides like Rokket Tracer and your Rokket Synchron. So keep that in mind. So its effect is that when a Link monster effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card and then it has an effect. So for Magna Rokket Dragon, it has the effect of you get to send a monster on the field to the graveyard. And then they all also share the effect of, during the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field by battle or by card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon another Rokket monster from your deck, except another copy of the particular Rokket that was sent to the graveyard, which is really cool. So their particular effect of Magna Rokket Dragon is that you get to send a monster on the field to the graveyard, which is really awesome because it doesn't target, and that is awesome. Then we play just a single copy of Silver Rokket Dragon. Silver Rokket Dragon's particular effect is that if it's destroyed by the effect of a Link monster, then you get to look at your opponent's extra deck and banish a card from it, which can be really pivotal if they're playing a particular deck that has like only one of, like the first thing that comes to mind is like Heroes, which we are going to be profiling soon if I haven't. I probably have already put that profile out, but Heroes, if you go into their extra deck and you know they're playing Evil Heroes and you hit the Malicious Bane that they're about to summon, or Sunriser, where they can't special summon that out on the field, then they have a big problem. But it takes a lot of knowledge to know about other decks to be able to hit the exact card that you're playing against. Then we play a single copy of Metal Rokket Dragon. I almost said Magna Rokket Dragon again, but Metal Rokket Dragon's really good because when it's destroyed, it's a really neat effect that it destroys this card. You get to destroy all the opponent's cards in this card's column that this card was in. So if, like, for instance, the other reason I use this mat is to give this a for instance. So if I put it here, then everything above it in this column is destroyed, which is really a good effect. I really love that effect about Magna Rokket Dragon. We do actually play 2 copies of Auto Rokket Dragon. Auto Rokket Dragon's a really neat rocket monster that has the ability that if it's destroyed by a card effect, that you get to send a spell or trap card on the field to the graveyard, which is a nice effect as well because it doesn't target either, which it just instantly just sends it to the graveyard. Then we play a single copy of Shell Rokket Dragon. Shell Rokket Dragon is probably one of the more underwhelming of the Rokket monsters, but it has the ability that if it's destroyed, you can destroy this card and then target one monster in this card's column. You can destroy one monster in this card's column that it was in, and if you do, destroy any monsters that are adjacent to this card's zone. So like if it's in this zone, you destroy one on your opponent's side of the field, and then both cards on these 2 zones get destroyed as well, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it's still good. Oh, that card's adjacent zone, excuse me. So it destroys the 2 cards that are adjacent to the monster that it was destroying. So it's actually a pretty good card. Like, I've always thought it was the other way around, but excuse me. I don't use that one that much. I actually just put it in the deck. Then we play a single copy of Anashoctic Rocket Dragon. I probably mispronounced that one, but I just played as a one of because it has the ability that if it's destroyed, that you get to make one face-up monster on the field unable to attack, which is kind of cool. It's a good effect. Then we play a single copy of Rocket Synchron. I just bumped this down to one because Rocket Tracer, and between this and Rocket Tracer, you play plenty of copies of stuff that you can just instantly, synchro into Borreload Savage Dragon. But this card is basically, you get to target a level 5 or lower or 5 or higher monster that's in your graveyard that's a Dark Dragon, and then special summon it to your side of the field, but destroy during the end phase, which is not that big of a deal because you do play the Absorouter Dragon, which you play 3 copies of Absorouter Dragon, because if a rocket monster is on your side of the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and you can only use its effect once per turn, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a rocket monster from your deck to your hand, which is really good to be able to add the particular rocket that you need to your hand at the exact time you need it. I do play 2 copies of Gateway Dragon. If you do want to drop these, you can play that card that came out of Chaos Impact, the dragon that was a secret rare. I don't remember the name of it, but I don't play it in this deck because I feel like it's really expensive and I wanted to go for kind of a budget-ish build for this deck. But you don't have to play it in this deck. It's more of a pure Rocket deck. But if your opponent controls a Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And you can only special summon Gateway Dragon once per turn. And then once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Dragon monster from your hand. So it's really easy to make Link 2s with your Gateway Dragon. 1 copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon because it's easy to special summon out the rockets from your graveyard or your hand to get for Link materials. Then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as well, just as a good hand trap, just to prevent our opponent from doing all sorts of stuff. And then 2 copies of Nibiru, because it's so easy to attack over something with a Boral Sword or a Borreload and take the token from your opponent's side of the field if they don't get rid of it, and be able to swing at them with a humongous token, which is really, really funny, to be able to put the token on their side of the field, make the Borreload on your turn, and then be able to attack them with that too. So really good effect. So that's it for all of the monsters. Let's get into the spells, guys. So we do play a lot of spells in this deck, but we have a lot of good spells. So we're going to be playing 3 copies of Super Polymerization. You need the 3 copies of Super Polymerization because you can go into stuff like Starvement Infusion Dragon or into your Borreload Furious Dragon really easily as well if you're playing against a Dragon deck or they special summon a Dragon monster. Then we play 3 copies of World Legacy Guard Dragon. World Legacy Guard Dragon revives our rocket monsters from the graveyard because it lets you special summon a level 4 lower dragon monster from your graveyard. But it also works with our guard dragons that we play. I do still play LP and Pisty in the extra deck, so you can move them to different zones to special summon rockets from different areas so you can link climb as well. 3 copies of Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is really good because you don't want to deal with hand traps at all in this deck, so you play this as a 3 of. 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is really good because it's a good extender. 2 copies of Boot Sector Launch. Boot Sector Launch is, in my opinion, still a good 2 of. It makes all rocket monsters gain 300 attack, and it's a good opener card. Like if you normal summon a rocket monster and search out, or go into Striker Dragon and then make this, it lets you special summon 2 rocket monsters from your hand with different names and defense position. Or if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you get to special summon rocket monsters with different names in your graveyard up to the difference. So if your opponent controls 5 monsters, you can special summon 5 rockets on your side of the field if you don't control any monsters, which is absolutely crazy. 1 copy of Dragon's Mirror because it makes it really easy to go into Furious Dragon. And then 3 copies of Quick Launch. Quick Launch is really, really, really good. It lets you special summon a rocket monster from your deck, but it can't attack, and also you destroy it during the end phase. But basically this says, hey, free material for Link material, so we play it at 3. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So we don't play any traps in here at all. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Borreload Dragon. Borreload Dragon is really, really good because neither player can target this card with card effects, and then once per turn, you can target a face-up monster on the field and it loses 500 attack, and if it battles a monster, it can take it from your opponent and just snatch steals it, and where you can use it for your own attacks, which is really good. Then we play a single copy of Boral Sword, which is arguably the better of the 2. This card is the OTK maker. It can't be destroyed by battle, and then once per turn, quick effect, you can target a face-up attack position monster and shift it to defense position. If you do, it can make a second attack during each battle phase, and then when your opponent can activate cards and effects to respond to this, and then once per turn, when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can basically gain half the attack of that monster's attack, and half that monster's on your opponent's side of the field. So they're guaranteed to take 3,000 damage off the first attack, which is really, really busted. And then they take whatever else if they don't have another monster on the field. Then we play a single copy of Beauregard. I wanted to play all three of them because I thought it was really cool to be able to play all three. If you don't want to play Beauregard, because not a lot of people do, I won a live duel on my channel with Beauregard, so you guys should definitely check that out. It was about 6 months ago, but Beauregard versus Heroes, the guy made Trinity or something, and I used this to switch it to defense position, I think it was, or something like that. But I can't remember what I did, but I actually won with Beauregard. Like, that card won me the entire match. So you guys should definitely check that out. But if you don't want to play Beauregard, you can drop it out and play the Unchained Abomination, because it targets and destroys 3 cards on the field, which can be your Rokket cards, which can combo really well. So you can actually play the Unchained card instead. But it's a really good card that cannot be destroyed by card effects, and then you can send a card from your Spell and Trap card zone to the grave to special summon from either player's graveyard one monster that was destroyed and sent to the graveyard this turn but negates effects. Then you can also target a monster on the field and change it to defense position. Your opponent cannot activate cards and effects in response to that, which is what I did on his Trinity, and switched it to defense position when he was playing Heroes, and then he was like, well, damn, what do I do now? And then I swung into it with Beauregard and won the game, which was hilarious. One copy of Triple Burst Blast Dragon. It's the only Link 3 we play, and it's just here to Link climb. One copy of Booster Dragon. I really thought that I was going to play more of this when it first came out, but you just need one for the arrows. One copy of Dylan Dragon. I think I probably mispronounced that one, but this is just a good one-of that reoccurs onto your side of the field over and over again, so it's a good one-of. Quadboral Dragon. Quadboral Dragon is really good because it lets you discard a card and then target a monster on the field, and then you can special summon Link 2 or lower monsters for an extra deck for the rest of the turn, and then you get to destroy the monster. If it was a Link monster, you could special summon that many Rokket monsters with different names for your hand or grave, which is up to the Link rating. So you can target like a 3 and then special summon 3 Rockets, or target like a 4 and then special summon 4 Rockets if it gets destroyed, which is really good. Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. You have to keep in mind about this card that it is a light, so it does lock you out of it sometimes, but it's still good. Striker Dragon is good as well because Striker Dragon searches Boot Sector launch. We do play a single copy of Guard Dragon Pisty and Guard Dragon Elpy just for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon combos. Borreload Furious Dragon is here with Super Poly because it takes 2 Dark Dragons. So if your opponent makes like Borreload or Boral Sword against you, you can Super Poly this out on the field really easily. Or you can make it with Dragon's Mirror extremely easily. Our other Super Poly target is going to be Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This card's really good. Borreload Savage Dragon is really good as well. This card is MVP. If you can't get a hold of one of these and you're trying to build this deck and everything else is relatively budget, you can drop this and play the Tenyi Synchro Monster instead. Or play a Beals if you want to play Beals instead of Borreload Savage Dragon. But it is a really pivotal card to deck, so I highly recommend you guys get a hold of one of these if you can. And then I do play, because I wanted to play all of the Boral Dragons, I wanted to play one copy of Borreload X-Charge Dragon. So I do have them all in here, which is just cool to me. I really like that. Neither player can target this XYZ summon card with monster effects except its own, and then once per turn you can detach a material to target one face-up monster on the field. It loses 600 attack and defense, and then you can special summon a Boral monster from your graveyard but banish it during the end phase. Not that big of a deal because you can just use it as a link material, which is nice. Also, you cannot special summon other monsters or attack during the rest of the turn. Never mind, can't use as link material. So, still a good card, still think it's a good one-of, but can't use as link material. So that's it for the deck. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a super fun deck. I highly recommend that you guys give this one a shot. It's super budget. You can actually, I think right now, I just bought 3 extra of the structure deck. Where I live in the States, you can actually get 3 of the structure decks at Walmart right now for like $7.50 if you luck up on them, because they're just $7.50. They actually put them on sale since like Christmas. But you can luck up on them and get this whole deck for like $25 maybe, but get a budget version of it, which comes with the majority of the stuff in the main deck. But you can actually wing it and maybe spend like $40 more and get the deck for a total of like $60. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.